Hello there. If these reports turn out to be anywhere near true, then we must immediately stop these eco-loons in their tracks by any means possible. Now, if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and then like and comment below. Now, if these reports are correct, that 2 women have died because eco-loons effectively blocked ambulances from saving their lives, then those protesters should surely face manslaughter charges at the very least. Not that they seem to care. These people have made it plain that their protest comes before the lives of other people. And one of their latest stunts, that of climbing onto the Dartford Bridge, may have been instrumental in the death of 2 women on the M20, as well as the injuries sustained by a van driver. Here's what former Met Detective Chief Inspector Mick Neville told The Sun. They may not have directly caused the M20 accident, but had their irresponsible demo not taken place, the women and van driver would probably not have been there. All because the police had to shut the Dartford Bridge down to traffic for safety reasons after the 2 eco-clowns had climbed onto the cabling. But whose safety is the question. The van driver, a Mr. Heap, said from his hospital bed, "They may not have intended to hurt anyone, but they've got blood on their hands now." I'm left wondering if the egocentric virtue-signalling muppets who cause roadblocks for their selfies to promote their eco-woke agenda are happy, knowing that they may have caused a road blockage that could potentially have saved the lives of 2 young women. But the vibes I get off of this group are not good in the humanity department, or in the apology department either. Enough is enough. It's time we came down hard on these dangerous zealots, especially as their antics are not working other than to display clearly to the rest of us what a silly, self-entitled lot of clowns they are. So it's good to see that things aren't going quite as well for the eco-clowns in Germany. And this really is eco-clownish at its best, and most self-entitled. On Wednesday, a group of 9 eco-loons, calling themselves Scientist Rebellion, broke into Autostat, a car showroom and museum opposite the Wolfsburg Volkswagen factory, and proceeded to glue themselves to the floor, vowing not to leave until their demands that Volkswagen bosses lobby ministers to push for transport decarbonisation are met. But they soon got to complaining when they weren't given the VIP treatment they were expecting. No one was feeding and watering them on demand. The electricity was turned off, and no one would bring a receptacle for them to do their business in.
Oh dear, outside, never mind.
Well, by switching the power off to the building, it was helping to reduce power consumption, so saving the planet, wasn't it? And then one of the eco-clowns, who said he was on hunger strike anyway, started complaining that his superglued hand was beginning to swell up, and it was rather painful. In the end, he was forced to quit the protest to get medical treatment, and was promptly arrested, with the rest of them then being swept up and taken away too. And the eco-clown concerned said he had agreed to leave the scene because, as he tweeted, "My health is of course paramount." Except he also tweeted at the same time, "I accepted to leave this wonderful group and was taken to hospital, continuing my hunger strike." Now, I'm not sure that hunger strikes are conducive to good health. Unless you only intend to keep it up until you feel a bit peckish, of course. Contradictory messages there then. Anyway, One of the eco-clowns on the Dartford Bridge has said that we only have 2 to 3 years left to get out of an uninhabitable Earth situation. So we have to act swiftly, he said. What does he mean? Only 3 years to live unless China stops burning coal? So what's the Burke saying? That the UK, all on its own, can offset the likes of China and India burning all that coal, and the EU chopping down all those trees to turn them into wood pellets for burning in furnaces to produce electricity, something I did a video on a while back. And I remember one eco group back in 2019 during our last ever MEP elections claiming that if humans did not stop using oil and gas within 12 to 18 months, there would be a sudden flare-up of runaway global heating that would unstoppably kill the Earth. And I personally have been listening to the eco-end is nigh predictions of doom for the last 50 years. With regular claims that we only have 5 or 10 years left to live. And they can never make their minds up whether we're all going to freeze, fry or drown. Or all three together. But while they are bungs in the of progress, we're facing winter blackouts. And because we're not allowed to use our own energy resources, if Putin pulls the plug on gas to the EU this winter, then we're facing at least 3 blackouts a week in the UK lasting 3 hours each. The Daily Mail has a copy of when the blackouts, if needed, are planned for each area of the country. And the reason is that in the rush to prove our green credentials, our cretinous politicians didn't just refuse to procure more gas storage sites, they shut down the biggest one we had. And although they're trying to get it back online, even if it was full, it only has about 9 days capacity. So we'll be forced to go cap in hand to the EU that has loads of gas storage. That, by the way, the UK topped up for them. And then we've got to buy it back, if it's available and probably at a premium price. Those blackout plans show you exactly what life would be like under an eco-loon government. You know, like the Tories or Labour. In fact, the whole of Westminster is in thrall to the eco-clowns and doubles down on all their demands at every turn, to the point it must be obvious to all by now that orders from on high prevent the police from taking proper actions to stop these arrogant protesters in their tracks. And now for a change of mood. The Met Police has been forced to pay a Christian preacher £10,000 in compensation for twice arresting her at Speaker's Corner. This is the case of Hutton Tash, who reported being harassed and threatened by members of another religion. But on the 2 occasions she did this, the police decided to arrest her and cart her off of the scene. And when she was held for 24 hours before being released with no charge, Hutton Tash took the Met to court. Her lawyers said she should never have been arrested and that she was unlawfully detained, and added that the police should have protected her free speech by bringing more officers to Speaker's Corner to facilitate her rights. What a novel concept. So in the end she received an apology, 10 grand, and had her legal costs paid. Except it will be the taxpayer footing that bill, either in money or in reduced services. Now back in October, during Mayor's question time, Sadiq Khan said that Tash had been removed for her own safety. Is arrest and locking up a part of that keeping you safe service? And he also said, freedom of speech is a principle that I hold dear. Going on to say that in London the people's right to free speech is fiercely protected. Well, it appears that events at Speaker's Corner tells another story. A story about some people having full freedom of expression while others are physically shut down by the authorities. That, Mr. Khan, is not free speech.